Hi everyone. It's been a while since I've made a video like this. Quarantine problems. I just haven't gotten my life together enough to do any kind of video, which I'm sure most of you can relate to. This is like as good as it's gonna get. I really there are a lot of things that could happen to make this video better, but we're just working through the hump right now. I'm just trying to get over that first video so that I can keep making more. I decided that I really wanted to make a video kind of flipping through all of my scrap therapy books. And if you don't know what scrap therapy is, it's a really fun way of scrapbooking / creative journaling. And all you need is some cute papers, and it helps if you have these little rings, binder rings, but you could also just use a ribbon to tie them all together. But they're basically just these really simple, chunky little books. No rules, you just put some pictures, some pretty things, some words, whatever you want to. And I fell in love with it about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago. I only have 3 books so far. I don't know if I'm gonna go through every single one. Maybe we'll go through 2, the latest 2, in this video, because I think it'll just get too long if I do all 3. This was my first one that I ever did, and I think it looks so cute. I'm very partial to it, and it has like these cute little charms, which I love. You can find some processes in my channel, on my channel, if you want to see more about how I create these pages. But it's definitely been a huge blessing for me, something really relaxing and fun and creative, and a way to get down my memories and my thoughts in a simple, fast, but still very fun way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you above my desk, and we're gonna go ahead and flip through some fun stuff. Here we go. Okay, the lighting could be a little better, but we're just gonna work through it. Like I said, I just have to get through this video. This is the first one I've really done since the gardening one that in the very beginning of quarantine. So it's been a couple months, I think, since my last video. So I'm a little rusty, but these are my scrap therapy books. This is the first one, like I was showing you. It's not too fancy. I mean, it was my first one, so I was still kind of figuring out what I liked, and I really like that page. That was one of my first ones. And I always laugh because the first page is always blank because I get like stage fright about it, and there's too much pressure on the first page. So just so you can see kind of like the format of what I do, I usually like to have some journaling. Sometimes I don't feel like writing, and so I won't, but sometimes I'll tuck it in a pouch, or I'll just write it in plain sight. I try and use some things from the day, like this one has these leaves, pictures, but the most important thing for me is just that there's no rules. I don't have to stick to a certain size of a page. I can use an envelope as a page, you know, the sky's the limit. And that just is really helpful for me. And I also like to use little things like notes from people or scribbles from my daughter, just things like that. So this one's not anything to really write home about, but it was my first one, and I'll never forget, obviously, the first time that I started doing this. So Anyway, I won't go through that whole one, but there's that, the very first one. Lost the charm there. I want to find more of these. I got this at the Scrapbook Expo, and I really think it's so cute, but I have a hard time finding just chains like that, but I think they're so cute, and they add a little charm. Charm adds charm. All right, this is my second one. I tied it with this twine, have some little tassels on it. I like to add a little something. My most current book doesn't have anything like this, so I'm still kind of looking for that perfect thing, but I like to have a little charm or tassel or something to give it some interest. I did do a first page on this one because I was like, you know what? I gotta bite the bullet and I gotta have a first page. This was actually the lining from my tea box. So it kind of smells cinnamony. It's kind of nice. I love to drink herbal tea, so sometimes I'll have things like that, but it's kind of like a waxy paper, which I really like. And I just put happy details, because that's kind of what I like these books to be about, is just the outline of my day, the details, the happy parts, sometimes the hard parts. But anyway, me and Reagan went to the zoo. This is a while ago. Like, let's see if I can find a time stamp somewhere around here. Oh, I didn't write any journaling. Sometimes I get real lazy and I say that I'm going to do journaling later and then I don't. And this looks like one of those times. But this was a day where we were stuck inside and we just needed to go. Instead of sitting around, I decided, you know what, we're going to go to the zoo. We're going to go do something. We're not going to feel bad for ourselves. We're just going to go. And so we went to the zoo and it was really fun. This is probably around the time when I started to redo my scrapbooking room, or whatever you want to call it, craft room, office. So this is actually possibly the old style, but this is just a fun little details. This is Reagan picking some cherries. Again, no, sometimes I just don't do the journaling because I get lazy. My girl, see, I'm kind of like looking back, I'm kind of learning that I used to have them be a lot more vague. Now I kind of do more journaling and more of like, this is what this page is about. But back when I was first starting, it was kind of just like, oh, this is pretty, and this is, you know, just like random pictures or whatever. So I think that this is the very beginning of quarantine. Yep, this is the very beginning of quarantine. So this is about March of this year. When we started our garden, I decided that I was gonna write things on here that were like positive things that came from being quarantined. That needs to go somewhere because I was covering the words, but I never went back and did that. So the thing about these books is they end up getting kind of messy sometimes. Like, things will fall off or shift, and it's fine. Like, that's the whole point of these, is kind of to be scrappy and, like, in a sense, thrown together and thrifty, things that you find around your house or whatever. Yeah, March 29th. So this starts a little before quarantine, and then the next book after that will be a little bit into quarantine. So this is me being grateful about our home and about how we are having church at home. I just wrote a little something there. Let's see. I did some texture paste here, which I really recommend it. It's really fun way to get some like depth in your page. I use a stencil and then one of these little spatulas. Let's see if I can pull it out. One of these little, I think they're called spatulas, but for painting. So I'll just lay down the stencil and then scrape the paste into there. And I really end up liking that texture that it gives. Here's another one with I think I did write on that one. Yep, I did. This one was about how I couldn't find flour anywhere. And then a really sweet friend of mine came by and brought me a bunch of flour. It was really awesome. So that's that. I really like to keep these the packaging from stickers and things like that so that I can use them as pouches to stick my journaling in. Let's see. What was this one about? Feelings. Oh yeah, I've had a lot of feelings the past couple months. A lot of feelings. So who knows what that says, but I think this is probably about scrap therapy and how literally therapeutic it has been for me to just be able to come in here and just paste things together and all that. This was one of the first outings that we took as a family during quarantine. We went to Chick-fil-A, which we don't have one near us. We had to take a drive to David's work, and then we went to Chick-fil-A and sat in the car and ate. And it was so fun. Like, it sounds so silly, but it was just so nice to get out of the house. I was going completely insane by that point because we were really on lockdown. So it was really nice to get out of the house and do that. This one, see, I tend to want to like put, like I probably should go back and write about this day and put it in there, but that's what that was supposed to be for, a little tag. And then I just tied it onto this cute girl so that it would kind of stay in place. But, you know, I'm cool with it moving around. That's kind of the point of these fun little books. This is, every once in a while, Reagan will do a little project or scribble, you know, on a piece of paper, and I'll use it in my book. This is one of those instances. I think we went to the library, and they did a little craft there, and so she had this little handprint, and usually I throw stuff away, but I try and keep little bits that I think will be cute inside of my little book. And this is Reagan learning how to potty train, which was a very, very long journey. A lot of my pages are just love notes to Reagan and just talking about her and how grateful I am for her, and you know how she's my little buddy. This was her birthday. She had a quarantine birthday. We just had a couple family members over and made her a unicorn cake. She was a sweet girl. She didn't know any different. Sometimes I'll find pages that I kind of missed. Here's an example of that. I think that this book starts getting a little sad towards the end, but this was kind of just a reminder to myself to, you know, indulge myself every once in a while with some scrap therapy, with crafts and me time, snacks and treats that I love. So very simple page, but it was a good one. Sometimes it's just coming in here, getting a couple things on the page and calling it good. And it instantly boosts my mood. So this was a page I did on International Scrapbooking Day. And it's mostly all printables from Suse Fish, who really started scrap therapy, but she created this cute printable for us all to use, and it was so much fun. That was my first time really celebrating National Scrapbook Day, and it was such a blast. I think that's the end of this book. So we'll move on to the next one. This might be a little bit of a longer video. I'll try that later. All right, so this one is still in progress. It's not a full book, but I have gotten a decent amount done. There's my first page. I have the hardest time because I feel like there's so much pressure on that first page to make it to set the tone of the whole book. So, I mean, really I'm doing myself a disservice by not having anything, but I'll get something on there eventually. Another page of Reagan. She is the star of most of my pages, I will be honest. This was our kind of our first harvest of our garden. We had some arugula, and so I put it on a pizza because it wasn't enough for a salad or anything decent. It was very, very small harvest. But I put some on my pizza and it was really yummy. And she just, I blow dried her hair and kind of gave her like a little makeover, and it was really fun and cute. You could see she usually has real curly hair, which I love, but it was fun to kind of have a mother-daughter makeover kind of thing. So this was our first time going out to a store together during COVID-19. So Reagan got $1 for going potty in the toilet from her uncle, and she picked out some M&Ms and she had the funnest time. And I splurged and got her this little pig toy that she thought was the coolest thing. But it was an interesting choice, but whatever she likes. And I think I just wrote about a little bit about that in here. Let's see. Yep. Just kind of wrote down some thoughts about that day, the happenings, things like that. And tell me these are not the cutest little paper clips. They're from Felicity Jane, and I'm obsessed with them. I should use them more, but sometimes I just forget that I have things. So going through my books is a good thing. All right, I'm gonna put that in later. I'm having a hard time. I also really like to do things that are thick because I love these books to really just be chunky and fun. I think it adds to the look of them. So I never shy away from like these big pieces. I think they're really cute. So this was our first time going and doing a play date. We had one, we decided kind of on one family that we wanted to get together with. So me and my friend went to Target and did like a girls' night kind of thing together. And then we had a play date with the girls. She's got a little girl that's about a year older than Reagan, I think. Reagan really started getting into Dollhouse, and me and David made her a Dollhouse last Christmas, and she just now is really getting into it. There's also a video on that if you're interested in how we decorated it. So there's that. And then I also use these page protectors that I got that are kind of fun to just add in something different size. This is another example, and you can see it here too, of like a page Reagan did. Like I'll just give her paints, give her the exact colors that I like, and let her kind of just create some background pages for me. Here's another example of that. This was kind of a thought that I had about Jesus and his nature, and how he has had all these kind of like what we consider to be negative emotions, but he was still perfect. And so just a reminder to me that even though I was having a hard time, that isn't my fault, and it's not something that makes me like bad or wrong. It's just part of being human. This is the day that we picked our cherries from our cherry tree. Also, a glance of my gigantic zucchini, and everybody told me, oh, you should have picked that a long time ago. That was my first one, so it was before I even knew anything, but it was cool to see the first fruits of our labor up in that garden. I wanted to get a picture of this new bougainvillea, I don't know how you say it, but I got this cute flower tree plant, and I wanted to get a picture of Reagan playing and of the plant, and that was recently. That was July 22nd. I wasn't crazy about how this turned out, but I kind of just threw some stickers on there. I think I got a little lazy, but whatever. This was recently. I kind of went back in time a little bit. So sometimes these don't go in any kind of order or anything. This was actually before this. But I went to a friend's house. I really, really needed to get away. And she kindly let me come to her house in Redondo Beach, and we went and had sushi on the beach and hung out, and we've known each other since high school, but even before that, we went to elementary school together, really. But we've been good friends since high school. And she was really sweet to me, took care of me, and I felt so much better after that trip. It was just an overnight stay, but it was really, really nice. Me and Reagan washed the car, which is really fun. I kind of created this page with a craft bag and just some white paint. Really simple. I'd like to add some words or something there. Sometimes I'll go through these and be like, oh, this would be really cute there, or I should really add this or that. This was something I did. I read Proverbs 31 and I kind of went through and wrote down what I felt like Heavenly Father wanted it to mean for me. And so I went through each thing and kind of modernized it, I guess, and personalized it for myself. But I kind of tried to think about what Jesus would be trying to tell me as a modern woman. So that was a really cool little exercise for me to really delve into what the interpretation of that scripture would mean to me. And I think that's all. And you'll see, like, this is a birthday card someone gave me. I like to add little things like that, so it can be memory keeping that way as well. But that's about it. That's what I've been up to for the last several months. And it's been really fun, something to keep me sane, I guess. Something to do that isn't, part of the ordinary, part of the scariness of COVID. It's kind of just an escape. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good time being with your family more, being at home more. I know it can be a struggle, but hang in there. Things are going to get better. And until next time, bye guys.